Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulihil Kareem wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een. My brothers and sisters, Udhiyah or Qurbani, the sacrifice that we make on the day of Eid. It commemorates the great sacrifice of the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. And it is one of the symbols of Islam. The Udhiyah symbolizes complete submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It represents tadhiyah, the fact that you are willing to sacrifice anything and everything for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That there is nothing more important or deserving that I sacrifice Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure for it. Even if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded me to slaughter my son. Of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not want Ibrahim alayhi salam to slaughter his son. But Allah azza wa jal commanded him to see whether or not he will submit. We too are being tested with many things in our lives. With the dunya and with our desires. And people only disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of the dunya and their desires. But they do not understand the magnitude of what they're doing when they sacrifice Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure for the sake of their jobs, for the sake of their position, wealth, their children, their spouses, their family. Many people are fine with Islam as long as Islam does not infringe upon their daily routine. But as soon as Islam interferes with their lives, they throw away Islam and they hold fast to their dunya and their desires. That is because the love of dunya and their desires was in their hearts, while Islam was only in their hands. But the Salaf, our righteous predecessors, were not like this. They had the deen and the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal in their hearts, while the dunya was in their hands. So when the trials and tribulations came, when the time came when they had to sacrifice one or the other, they chose to let go of their dunya and they held fast to their deen. لَن يَنَالَ اللَّهَ لُحُومُهَا وَلَا دِمَاؤُهَا وَلَكِنْ يَنَالُهُ التَّقْوَى مِنْكُمْ. It is not the flesh of that animal that reaches Allah or the blood. Rather, it is your piety and your righteousness. It is your submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that reaches Allah azza wa jal. So when you spill the blood of that animal, you are actually presenting your blood for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That, oh Allah, not only is this animal that I purchased with my wealth at your service, not only is my job at your service, not only is my wealth at your service, not only is my time at your service, not only are my children, my spouse, my family at your service, rather, O Allah, even my life and my blood is at your service. Your pleasure, O Allah, is my goal. Your pleasure is my aim. Your pleasure is my purpose. And I am willing to sacrifice it all for that.